Everybody, this is just a quick video showing you who's going at each position in these rookie mock drafts. If you think you know who's going to go at this position, leave a comment down below. Who do you think it's going to be? And see if any of my guests who've been on agree with you. And before we get into it, hey, hit that like, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. We're on a march towards, 500 subscribers. I'd love to be able to do it before we get into this season of football. That'd be awesome. So help me out and let's go. Let's see who's going at this draft pick, shall we?
So I think personally, I'm cool with just checking out after the 106 in my rookie draft. Like before the draft, I made a trade. I traded the 110, the 111 for the 104, and I'm so thankful for that. Like I'm very like that happened. I know people are saying this is deep class. There's a lot of good depth here. I'm cool with just stopping at 106, like investing all my chips, getting those 6 players, then being done, and then just throwing some darts in the second and mid third in the third round. But that being said, here I'm going Zay Flowers, who went to Baltimore at 122, really gives another weapon for Lamar Jackson, and you know they've new offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
you're hoping for a healthy Rashad Bateman and then Mark Andrews. So you can start to see, and then you have the running back there from Ohio State who is escaping me right now.
J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins. So you really can start to paint a picture where they're starting to give a little bit more weapons to Lamar Jackson. So maybe they can go back to some more friendlier pass attempt volume. Now I'm not predicting a major spike in pass attempts or anything like that. All I'm saying is it's Zay Flowers, who's a very exciting player. I think his college production is sometimes a little overstated in a weak Boston College type offense. That being said, I think he's an exciting player, and at 108, I am really cool with tapping in to Zay Flowers, and I don't think there's a lot to discuss with Zay Flowers, in that I think he's a solid pick at 108.
Yeah, and it's kind of what you said about Jahmyr Gibbs, right? With these Ravens pass catchers, like the thing with love is like you get burned and you gotta jump right back up and hope for the best. But you're right, the new coaching scheme there, like signing Odell Beckham Jr., you don't sign him just to run the ball.
I even forgot OBJ. Like, you're right.
Yeah, they're obviously a slight changing of the guard as to what's happening here. So hopefully Zay Flowers can be a benefactor of that. So I think he's great value at that pick. And you kind of mentioned there, like one quick question about, you said like to about 1.6. So is this kind of the land here about 1.8, 1.9, where you're happy just to take a random 24 first and just hit it next year?
I'd want a little bit more than a 24 first. So give me give me a late second and 24 first. Sure. But I'm not just like cashing out for a 20, and I'm not sure who makes that deal with a second involved. But I think it's just more, I think that the teams, because I have actually plenty of Superflex later half picks, and I don't think that while I think their value has decreased a little bit, I'm no longer as excited for them, and I just don't think, while they could have, I think there's definitely upside there, and I'm not just giving them away for pennies. I'm just no longer counting on them, especially in year one, to really help me compete moving forward. So I'm definitely looking to trade them for veterans, for 24 firsts. If I'm rebuilding, or if I'm retooling, I'd consider definitely trading for that 24 first more so. But I think that wraps that question up. But that's a good question.
Yeah. So who's following up then? I pick 1.8.
Yeah, so at 1.8, I'm sticking with the wide receivers. I'm going for Quentin Johnston. He's a guy that I really liked leading up to the NFL draft. I know there's a lot of people not too sure on him, feel like if they were going to pick anybody to be a potential bust out of these top-end wide receivers, he could be that one guy. But I absolutely love the landing spot landing with the Chargers. Solid draft capital. With the 22nd overall pick, the second wide receiver off the board. There was talks that he might not even go in the first round of the NFL draft. Obviously, he didn't get that invite to the NFL draft, so that kind of made people feel pretty confident that he wasn't going to be selected in the first round. So the fact that he was the second wide receiver off the board is a big plus to me. Landing, as I say, with the Chargers, we know how great Justin Herbert can be for fantasy, and he's been crying out for another weapon on this offense. There's been a need for a speedster, and while I don't think Quentin Johnston's quite at the level of maybe some of these other wide receivers that they could have taken, he's still got plenty of speed to him. He's a big-bodied guy. Feels a little bit like maybe a Mike Williams who's on the other side, and maybe this is that transition from maybe moving on from Mike Williams. In the future, Keenan Allen's obviously getting up there in age as well. So I feel like it's a situation, again, he's going to land a little bit like JSN, I guess. He's going to land being that wide receiver 3. But I think in the near future, there's potential for him to grow into a far bigger role. And as I say, being on the Chargers on a great passing offense is going to be great for him. And I think he's a solid pick at the 108.
Yeah, and you got to hope there's potential to grow since he lost 2 inches, right? What of them was that like that?
I mean, yeah, nobody wants to lose 2 inches, so yeah, that was pretty.
No, not at all. So yeah, we got Quentin Johnston locked in there, like you said. That's about as good of a landing spot as he could have got there. So we'll see how he ends up there. But yeah, 108, not bad there at 108, and I think now moving on to 108. This for me, I don't know about you, Ali. But this, for me, this 1-8 until like 112, it's a bit ugly. It's a bit like, there's no real value here. What do you think?
Yeah, so I'm still, if I've got the 108, yeah, I'm still happy with this pick because Quentin Johnston is someone that I wasn't massively high on pre-draft. I had him below Zay Flowers. But, yeah, I mean, he's landing with my guy, Justin Herbert. And I couldn't be happier for Herbert, for Johnston, and for the Chargers, because I think it's going to be absolute poetry between these two. Obviously got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams that are both getting up there in age. They never stay healthy all season. I think Quentin Johnston's going to come in, get those deep shots from Herbert. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. From year one, I think Johnston's going to produce fairly decent numbers, with the view of 2024 being an absolute smash. There's obviously some concerns about Johnston, his hands, and he doesn't play as big as what he is. But I think he's in the perfect offense with the perfect quarterback where it's just set up for him to succeed. So if I'm still at the 108, I'm really happy to take Johnston. He's in that tier with Jordan Addison for me.
He's a guy that, we talked earlier, it's like sometimes you might be wrong. He's the guy that I just don't, like, I'm not in on, but enough people are that I'm going to have to come away with at least one because I can't just... keep overlooking. And I mean, to me, I just don't. It's the hand issues worry me. It's no one's talking. I'm the only guy who's talking about. He's got these little skinny. He looks like Johnny Bravo, right? He's got these like tiny little legs, right, and then this huge upper body. And I'm just like, it doesn't quite like fit fully for me. But Justin Herbert, right? You're right. You can't overlook. Justin Herbert's going to put it in a place where he can't drop it. So yeah,
Just wait for him to put on them powder blue uniforms of the Chargers. I think it's going to look so smart. And when he's catching an 80-yard bomb from Justin Herbert, I think